Yay. All right. Welcome, Amanda. Thank you so much for coming on today. Amanda is a systems and time management expert. She is the owner of Refocus on Being, and she's here today to share her wisdom with us. We're going to be talking today live inside the Branded Badasses group. So we'll be answering questions as they come in, and we encourage you all to say hello as you're hopping on. Amanda, I would love for you to take a moment before we jump in and ask specific questions, just to share with our viewers and listeners who you are, what you do, and how you got started.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. And hey, everybody. My name's Amanda Lopes-Bregoli. My business is Refocus on Being. And I am an educator and strategic mentor. I specialize in working with virtual assistants, online support professionals, and other women business owners. And what I do is I really focus on teaching how to strategically grow using effective systems, using time management methods, really tapping into self-confidence, and really focusing on teaching the education and the strategy behind everything so that women can get shit done without losing their shit in the process. How did I get started? I actually got started out as a virtual assistant myself about 5+ years ago. And that my natural evolution through that was to work with higher and higher level business owners until I didn't want to be doing the hands-on support anymore and decided to start working with women and teaching them how to build a foundation of their business and really become experts in what they're doing, and teaching them how to implement the systems that they need so that they can grow in a less stressful way, and grow strategically and not be stuck in that like entry-level hourly VA kind of world that many support professionals can get stuck in.
Yeah, I love that. It is so important, the work that you're doing, and there's such a huge need for it for anybody working in the online space. I know in my own journey, it was very easy to get trapped in the pricing your services based on your time. And I love the way that you teach women how to really own your time and to create your business so that it works around your life rather than creating a life that works around your business. I'd love to know why you feel it's so important for entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs to have a focus on systems and time management.
So systems and time management are really, they're the foundational pieces that you really have to have in place for your business, because when you think about it, like every single thing that you do in your business, and this goes across the board, it doesn't matter if you're a virtual assistant or any other type of business owner, everything that you do is a system that has a process to it. So the way that you are visible and market yourself to your clients, the way that you bring people closer to you, your potential client system, your onboarding system when you work with people, how you even write and publish blog posts or social media. Every single thing that you do in your business is like a structure that, when it has a system and a process that's documented behind it, it makes it easier for you to grow. It's really hard to keep replicating and creating and recreating over and over again, keeping everything in your head and then trying to pull it back out again and again and again. And when you function like that, like shit falls through the cracks, you miss things, and you don't have that consistency that goes through your business. So that's like the whole like systems end of things. And then time management, like we only have so much time in the day. Like I don't know about you, but I have realistically 5 hours of solid time a day that I can work in. I can't create more time I don't want to create more time. Actually, I'm happy with what I have. But like, it's not about creating time out of thin air. It's about taking the availability you have and learning how to manage that so that you can do focused work, so that your business can grow, and so that you can actually like get things done when you sit down to work, instead of sitting down and going, oh my God, what am I supposed to be working on? So good time management skills really help you to grow, proactively instead of reactively.
Yeah, I think that reactionary mode is something that's so common. It's something I know I've fallen into, and just about every entrepreneur ever has, felt this, where it almost feels like you're pulling at strings just trying to keep up with things. And I've seen firsthand what systems can do, and putting automations in place and having support and knowing how to structure those things. And you're really, really amazing at doing that and helping people with that. I'd love to know what the number one mistake you've seen entrepreneurs make when it comes to systems and time management. Is there something that stands out to you where you're like, oh my gosh, they're doing this?
There's quite a few of them, but when I thought about this, there were two things that really stood out, and it was like on two different levels. So for the newer, more entry level, say like first couple of years of your business, the biggest, and I don't even like calling it a mistake, but the biggest mistake that I see is not taking the time to document what you're doing, not building your systems as you go, or at least like closely behind you, like I call it going behind yourself, and kind of, documenting what it is that you just did so you can put systems in place. But those first couple of years in your business tend to be the time when you have the time to do that, when you have a little bit more ability to do that, when you're not quite so consistently working with clients, you have more time to be working and really getting all of your things into place. And a lot of people don't realize that, or don't place the importance on it that should be placed. And for those who are a little bit more established, who are working with clients, who have income coming in, I can honestly say, and this doesn't matter if they're in like their second to 20th year in business, the biggest thing that I see them not doing is not making the investment in aligned team members. There seems to be this like clutching onto like the do it yourself and the one woman show, and I'm the only person who can do this. And I mean, for a fact, like growth can't happen. I mean, it can, but it hurts and it's not much fun when you're doing everything yourself. And people will talk themselves out of help because they either don't know how to find help, or they think they can't afford it, or they're just have a really big block around it. But yeah, that kind of mistaken mindset of not identifying the team they need in place as they grow, and actually actively putting that team in place. So those, I think, are like the two biggest, I know it was two different levels, but the two biggest things I see.
Totally. I'm so glad that you broke it down that way, because I think that with the audience tuning in, there's definitely going to be that variation in the spectrum of not paying attention to the systems and realizing that that's something that you should be capturing and organizing and looking at. And then on the other end, the entrepreneurs that are stuck in that DIY mindset. So for each of those, and this is something that I'm just going off the cuff with, but for each of those, do you have some tangible advice for somebody that might be in that position on how to get out of that place of feeling stuck and how to start implementing something to build systems and organization?
Yeah, so for the first one, where it's that first couple of years of your business, is scheduling in the time to work on your systems. And just in the biggest piece of advice there, and I say this even to the women I've been working with for years, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be messy. It doesn't have to be this beautifully drawn out flow chart that goes from here to there. I mean, I don't even know how to make that, and I'm not going to waste my time with that, but just even taking your phone and just talking through what your process is. when you say write a blog post, and then going back and prettying it up if it's something that you have to do, but actually scheduling in the time, because then you're also teaching yourself good time management skills, and you're teaching yourself right from the beginning that having the time to sit there and work on the back end of your business is just as important as the time that you spend with your clients, with your customers, making your products, whatever it happens to be. And then for team, I think the biggest piece of advice I can give there is to just be aware of what is like hurting you to do in your business. I think the biggest red flag for me is when I find myself like wasting inordinate amounts of time trying to do something. That's when I have to take a step back and go like, is this because I don't know how to do this, or I don't like doing this? And is this a place where I'd be better off reaching out to somebody and saying like, hey, I'm really crappy at doing social media. I need somebody who can help me with this. But, just being aware of those like growing pains kind of things, because that's typically like your like little red flag that you need some support.
Yeah, it's so, so important. And I can speak from experience, having a team member come on is such a huge, like, breath of fresh air, weight lifted off of your shoulders. It's one of those things where you're like, you think that when you're doing it yourself that you've got it all figured out. And then somebody else that might be better at, like, let's say, organizing things than you, like myself, comes in and kind of takes the reins on that. It takes so much pressure away from entrepreneurs, and it really opens up that opportunity for creativity to flow, is what I have experienced. And I think it's so, so important. And I'd love to just share one tool or tip that I've personally been able to utilize for beginning entrepreneurs and just trying to identify some of those systems, is to simply just record myself doing them. Because I've been in a place of thinking, well, there's so many team members that I could have do this, but then I'd have to train them. Then I'd have to figure out what that system actually looks like. And something I've done is just record my screen as I'm sending out an email campaign, or I'm putting together my social media calendar. So do you have any tools that you've used in that specific instance that might be helpful?
I love that you said that, because that's, I think, one of the most powerful things that people can be doing. When you bring people, especially thinking ahead to the future, but that's really helpful, because when you bring people onto your team, the more, the different ways that you can have to train them, because some people are really visual people and they need to be walked through something. And some people are more auditory learners. Some people need to read things. So I personally try to and like to have both a video tutorial and then what I've started doing now. So I think my biggest productivity and like helpful tip here would be for people to sign up for Otter. It's otter.ai, and it's a transcription service. And what I recommend people to do is, so you could do your training videos, send that to Otter, have it transcribed, and then you just go back in and clean it up. So you didn't even have to spend any extra time actually typing out and documenting your actual process, because you're doing it through your video and then you're just having it transcribed. So now you've got your training video and you have also got your documentation for your operations manual, which works twofold too. And then you can reuse that too for other things that you do. If you ever decide to start training people on like how to do something, you've got like educational materials there.
That's amazing. That's like just so powerful, because you can repurpose so many of those things and use them in different ways. Can you spell out that platform
Yes.
again?
Yep, it's Otter, like the animal,
Like the animal.
OTT, yep, OTTER.ai. And you can get a free account, and you can record live in there. You can upload audio, video, tons and tons of files. A good friend of mine turned me on to it, and it's become a pretty vital part of my business now, for being able to just do like videos and then have them transcribed and then be able to flip them around and repurpose them into social media posts and newsletters and different things like that.
That is awesome. So I put that in the notes for anybody that wants to go check that resource out. So thank you so much for sharing that. I would love to, because we're about halfway through our chat today, love to kind of dig into some of the ways that you can share your business with our audience, because I know that this is just brushing the surface of all of the wisdom that you have. So where can everybody find you? What are some of the things that you're working on right now? And then I have some other questions, but we'll start with
Sure. So right now I am most active. People want to be hearing from me, whether it's my videos, whether it's tutorials, whether it's just me ranting. I love to talk. I love to teach. But you can find me. The two best places would be my Facebook business page, which is Refocus on Being, and to sign up for my newsletter, because those are the two ways that I'm most actively communicating and engaging with my audience right now and my people. I have a website also, which is not the best. It's going through some revamps right now, but the reason I wanted to point it out is I have an awesome new program that I just finished up, and I'm officially announcing for the first time ever right here with you. So I'm super excited. I know, I'm super excited. So I've been really trying to find a way to provide support and education to VAs, online support professionals, and other women business owners who don't fit into the conventional daytime support box, because most coaches, most mentors, most teachers are providing daytime support. And a lot of people are working side hustles, or they have, other jobs they have to be at, or they've got kids attached to their bodies all day long, and it's super hard to get on a damn phone call. Like, I totally, totally get it. And I've created a very out of the box flexible support program called On Your Own Time. And I'm super excited because it's a flexible, what I'm doing is utilizing flexible virtual platforms like Voxer and Marco Polo, and then the traditional email, of course. And women can sign up and take part in this program and request their support for education and guidance and mentoring at any hour of the day or night. And it allows me the flexible time container to be responding to, providing the guidance, sending tutorials, walking them visually through things, providing graphics, whatever it is that I need to do on my own time too. So it really allows the client to function when they can function, whatever time that happens to be, and gives me the flexibility to function in my own best capability. And I've got a few different levels of that, so I'd love to I was going to ask you if I could put the link for that under the video once we have that ready to go.
Absolutely. Yes, I'd love to include that.
That would be super awesome. So yeah, aside from my traditional daytime coaching programs, this is my newest thing that I have out. And I'm really excited to be able to provide, because there's so many people that are not investing in support because it doesn't fit into their lifestyle and it doesn't fit into their schedule, and everyone deserves and needs support. So
I love that so much. And I think that this is really awesome because it speaks to the fact that we're not all the same and we don't all work the same. Some of us like to work at 5 a.m. Some of us need to work in the afternoon. And I know that the way that you teach women to schedule their time and create systems around their business really supports that. And this is just so perfect to kind of fit that into the way that you support people. So that's awesome.
Yay.
So I will make sure that those are linked up below in the live video and also in the notes for this episode. I would also love to ask you and I think we all know this at this point, but what is something that makes you a total badass at what you do?
It's funny. It took a really close friend of mine to point out to me that what is as easy as breathing to me when it comes to systems in organization, knowing how to strategically grow through planning and the focus on relationship marketing. She said those words, it's as easy as breathing for me. And it's not as easy as breathing for everyone out there, right? Like, we all have different talents. We all have different, thank God. There's people out there. I'm supported by a team of people who amazingly do the things that I suck at and that I don't want to do. So it's nice that I'm able to have just the ability to sit down and look at people's businesses and help them identify the places that can be strengthened, the places where they can bring team on to help them be more supported and grow in a more. So I have 10-year-old twins. Life has to be easy. Like, I don't want anything to be hard. So I really focus on simplicity when it comes to what I teach people. So I haven't come across anybody who hasn't been able to easily digest, understand, and implement the things that I am able to teach them. So I really pride myself for all of that.
Yes, you seriously are so gifted at this. And I know because I've seen it firsthand where you can look at something and just see the structure there. And some of us, like myself, would not see those gaps or see those ways to improve things. So it's really, really awesome. And I think it's so important for us to highlight that for every entrepreneur, that we all have gifts and unique brilliances that do come naturally to us. And that's really where you find your magic in the online spaces, and recognizing what those gifts are and being able to create something that you can not only monetize on, but be of service with. So I'm so happy that you were able to share that with us today. If there is one thing that you can tell our listeners, either a piece of advice or just something that you want them to know about what we've been talking about today, I'd love for you to share that before we wrap up.
Yeah, so I think my biggest piece of advice to everybody on right now, and everyone who's going to watch and or listen to this in the future, is that it's never too early, and it's also never too late to get your shit together and to create and implement systems that you need in your business, or to come to the realization that it is going to support you best by hiring somebody to come in to help you get these things into place. Because until you have them into place, it's like running on that hamster wheel of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it wastes time, and it stops your growth. And, I've worked with business owners everywhere, from those who haven't even started really their business to people who have been in business for well over 10 years and are making 7 figures. And they can all attest to what they start to see and the things that they start to gain, all beneficial once they get their systems in place, and once they find a time management method and way of working and prioritizing their life that actually works for them, because everyone's a little bit different. But once you get all of that stuff in your business, it ripples out to your life, and everybody can attest to that. I mean, you've even said it in there too. So never too early and never too late. You just got to make the decision that you're going to learn how to, or hire people to help support you in getting all of that done.
I love that so much. So for everybody watching or listening, I would love for you to take action on what Amanda has said today, to either find support or start implementing systems. Amanda has a ton of resources and knowledge available, so make sure you go follow her, either on social media or check out her website. And I just want to thank you, Amanda, so much for being on today.
Thank you for having me. I was super excited. And I'm just really glad to be able to expose this information to people who need to hear it again, or needed to hear it for the first time, so that they can be inspired to take action. And I love that that's always your motto on everything, is, inspiring people to take action. So thank you for saying that. And thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks so much. All right, I am going to wrap up our live. Thank you, guys.